Hello and welcome to another MetalCast from Metal Coffee Shop. My name is Karen Edwards, and today's conversation is going to be all about fire rated panels that are built for performance. And this is something new and exciting and innovative from all weather insulated panels. And joining me for the conversation today is Brian Ng, Vice President of Engineering at AWIP. Brian, welcome to the podcast.
Great. Thanks for having me here, Karen.
Yeah, so for those who don't know you, could you just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your background and what does it mean to be Vice President of Engineering at AWIP?
Yeah. Again, my name is Brian Ng. I'm the Vice President of Engineering at All Weather Insulated Panels. I've been with AWIP for just over 16 years now, and really it's been exciting seeing the new products, new technologies that we've incorporated into the company, as well as the growth that comes with it. Really pushing the limits of the building envelope market, right? I think as Vice President of Engineering, it's exciting to see all the development that's gone through, and working with the engineering teams to come up with a solution that makes it makes it better for the market in terms of product performance, life safety, just installation efficiency, and really, yeah, just performance overall, right?
You've seen a lot of changes and growth being there 16 years, I'm sure, from when you first started, because you're constantly innovating and developing solutions, right? Yeah, and technology changes so quickly nowadays. But we're talking about fire rated panels today. And what are you seeing that's driving the demand for fire rated insulated metal panels in both commercial and industrial markets?
There's a few things consider pushing this in the same direction. I would say from the building code standpoint, they're getting stricter and stricter, right? There's more occupancies that require fire rated assemblies now. And really when we're looking at it, there's a growth in buildings such as like cold storage, food processing, large distribution centers and warehouses. And I think insurance companies are really looking at what actually goes into these buildings, and how to protect what's inside. At the same time, there's a large growth in data centers. So the equipment that there's dense electrical loads, there's battery, there's cooling equipment that goes into it, and a lot of that needs protection. That's on the building side. From an insulated metal panel standpoint, we are seeing there's labor shortage on the construction market, and I think contractors need faster ways of building. And with the compressed schedule, there's challenges that remain, right? So contractors want to build faster. Owners want their buildings completed faster so they can occupy it quicker. And I think insulated panels in general, and DM40F plus, that provides the benefits of all of these.
Okay, so we're also seeing way more fires, right? In Colorado, in Utah, in California, it's just in the news constantly. And I think with changing weather climates and weather conditions and not as much snow in Colorado and the mountains this year. So the risk just keeps increasing. So it's really important. Fire resistance is critical. But before we get into this, the DM40F plus panel, I want to, just for those who might be wondering, what is an insulated metal panel? Can you kind of break it down to the basics to help those understand who may not be familiar with it?
Sure. So an insulated metal panel, it's a factory manufactured panel that has two layers of metal facings that sandwich an insulation core. So for DM40F plus, I would say we use our InnovaCELL foam technology, which it's in its when it's manufactured, it's in its liquid state that gets poured onto the backside of a steel facing, and is chemically bonded to the steel facings. And as it goes through the production process, the two steel facings sandwiching this foam core becomes a single composite, and it comes out as a single unit. So in a nutshell, think two steel facings on the outside with an insulation core in the center.
Okay, or if you want to simplify it, in my brain, I'm seeing like an Oreo cookie or an ice cream sandwich,
Yes,
right?
that's exactly it. Yep, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and the vanilla part is the insulation and then the sides on either end. Okay, so you mentioned InnovaCELL technology. Can you talk a little bit about what makes that different and what it is and how you achieve that fire resistance? Because we typically don't think of insulation as being fire resistant.
Right. Yeah. So I'll say we have a lot of good engineers and an R&D team here that is really looking to make a change. I'll say the InnovaCELL technology. What we've done here is not we haven't been really reacting to either a building code change or phase out of a specific chemical or anything like that. We're looking at how do we make the product better, and we've launched this system from looking at several factors. Right, we wanted to make sure to develop something that has a higher fire performance, higher thermal performance, and also contribute to sustainability and circularity. So our InnovaCell technology there, it is able to meet that fire resistance ratings that are needed for fire resistance products. It has a higher R value than we would say traditional foam systems, and also from a sustainability standpoint, we do have recycled PET that goes into. So think Coke bottles that are recycled back into the formulation.
Nice. Yeah. So it's like a win-win-win. It's all those qualities that people want: higher R value, the fire resistance, and the sustainability.
Right, right.
Okay, so how does the InnovaCell technology address, I guess, what are some challenges contractors face with more traditional fire-rated wall assemblies, and how does the InnovaCell technology address some of those issues?
Key message there is that it simplifies construction, right? It's a single unit. So if we think of traditional fire assemblies, think concrete tilt up, stud framing with multiple layers of drywall and insulation in between, or an insulated metal panel that has mineral wool systems. All these would require more trades, more coordination, more schedule risk, and going over um, wall a wall installation several times, right? So with DM40F Plus, it's a single unit that gets installed into the wall. Once it's installed, it's done. It's a single panel solution. Fire rating is built right into the assembly. It doesn't have to be built with multiple components, and really it keeps the speed of standard IMP installation.
Nice.
From a
So
yeah yeah, I was just gonna say also like from a performance standpoint, the foam is closed cell. So what that means is it resists moisture migration, and it prevents moisture from getting through. And the product itself is the exterior building envelope. There isn't a separate component that needs to go over the top of that.
okay, so yeah, it is out facing the world, right? Facing the elements and able to handle that.
Right. Exactly. And it's offered in different paint finishes, different profiles for insulated metal panels. There's a lot of design flexibility when it comes to that from a architectural standpoint.
Yeah, so you can have the metal panel, you can have the fire rating, and you can still have a pretty building.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, so architects, I'm sure, love designing with those, and building owners love the way their building looks and appreciate all the benefits that they get from the enhanced insulation. I'm sure when we talked about some of these, data centers and other critical kind of infrastructure, it's really important to have that indoor environment be controlled.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's where insulated metal panels, you have to have the benefits. It's a combination of all those things.
So what does fire rated mean? That when you say fire rated, how does that earn that rating? What does it have to do?
Mhm. Yeah. So there's a test that needs to be run. The primary test is ASTM E119, and what that test evaluates is um, a temperature rise from the fire side of a wall assembly or a roof assembly, but um, the f- the the temperature rise from the fire on the inside of a building to the outside of a building. So it can't exceed a certain temperature rise, and that's one criteria. The second criteria is that fire can't penetrate through. So from a building code standpoint, there are different requirements, but it falls back into this ASTM E118 test standard.
Yeah, okay. So the panel is designed to support longer lengths as well as vertical installation. So how does that create more flexibility in the field, maybe during the installation and even with the design?
We can manufacture panel lengths from anywhere from 8 foot all the way up to 72 feet. And what that really means is speed, efficiency, and design flexibility. So if we're able to provide a single panel that goes up vertically from the base all the way to the roof, that's fewer panels, fewer lifts, and a quicker installation. If a building is really big, longer lengths lead to fewer panel joints that are required to close out the building. And with panel joints, there's always a risk of water getting in there due to additional details that are required.
Sure. Yeah, the fewer seams, the better in any kind of construction project,
Hmm.
whether that's roofing, walls, or whatnot. But you said 72 feet. That's 7 stories.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
How do you get that panel to the job site?
Yeah. There's a lot special freight requirements are definitely needed there. But if we're looking at cold storage facilities, the joints are critical there. From a water, air, vapor intrusion standpoint, the ability to manufacture longer panels, yeah, certainly has its benefits.
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine. And I imagine that, I mean, you're basically kind of custom making these panels based on the design of the building, right?
Right. Yep. Yeah. So we don't stock panels. It's going to be made to order, specific to the project requirements when it comes to color, panel thickness, lengths.
Turnaround time for that. I'm curious if someone's designing a building and then you're going to manufacture the panels. How long does that usually take? I guess it depends on the size of the building and how long the panels are, right? So many factors.
Yeah, I would say it depends on the production schedule, schedule there, and also the construction schedule. We'll work closely um, with the contractors on when they need it, and um, fit into to whenever makes sense for them.
So what kind of do contractors need to have any special training or knowledge in order to, be installing these panels, or it's pretty straightforward?
I would say it's pretty straightforward. It's a single pass component there. So I would say for DM40F plus, and if anybody's familiar with IMPs specifically already, it's a really similar installation, right? The handling is similar. It's lightweight. The joints are easy to engage, and the installation sequence is laid out for you on shop drawings there. And I would say for DM40F plus, the critical difference is really in the joint, and that's where the joint design matters. If fire's coming through, that's where the joint would be a critical area. So, what's used with DM40F plus is intumescent sealants. So it's critical that there's consistent installation, and the fire rating depends on an overall system performance. So from a panel standpoint, it's not just the panel performance, but the overall performance of the system there. Um, for those who aren't familiar with insulated metal panels, we do offer an installer program through our IMP Pro authorized installer training. It's a hands-on training that we have at our facilities to really get the feel of insulated panels, how you handle it, how it all comes together, where the clips and fasteners go. On our website, we do have an area to sign up for installer training. On the website as well, we have our Glimpse 3D platform, which is a visual detailing tool that shows how all these parts and components come together in a 3D environment.
Yeah, yeah, and so the trainings you said at your facilities, are they spread throughout the country, different locations?
Yep, we offer it once a quarter at each of our facilities. So Vacaville, California, Little Rock, Arkansas, and East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so yeah, very easy to get to no matter what part of the country you're in.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So these are you've been there 16 years. Metal in general is growing in popularity as a building product, right? We're seeing more of that. Are you seeing the insulated metal panel market grow as well?
We are seeing the insulated metal panel market grow, and I think it's the code, it's the building codes, sustainability, energy efficiency that's really driving it, and labor shortages as well, right? Like the demand is that we want to be able to simplify the installation, but also provide a high performing product.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the metal is so attractive. It has so many great features. Like as you said, building codes, the increase in wildfires, definitely, the requirements of insurance companies, all these things are playing a role. So if you're not doing this and offering these as a contractor, you definitely want to check out All Weather Insulated Panels website. They've got a directory on Metal Coffee Shop, Roofers Coffee Shop. We have all the events and trainings listed there because this is the future of buildings. Right, Brian?
Right. Yep. That's how we see it.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you for being here today for this conversation. It was really interesting. And I encourage everyone to, like I said, visit the directory on Metal Coffee Shop, Roofers Coffee Shop, visit their website, and learn more about this new fire resistant DM40F plus panel and insulated metal panels in general, because you may come across a project one day where you're going to need to install it. So be prepared. Thanks for listening as well. We encourage you to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform because we want to see you on a future episode of MetalCast. We'll see you next time. Bye.